Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is able to hear me and able to see my screen. Can someone please confirm
Yes.
everyone is able to hear my screen clearly and able to see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I request everyone, guys, please go on mute. Kindly cooperate with me on online class. Okay, thank you, guys. So, before I proceed further, how many participants are not part of a project batch? Any kind of project batch? Only subscribe for Angular course. Can you raise a hand or type in the chat window? Okay. Right. Only one. Okay. Now, and who is the one more? Who raised the hand? Okay. Fine. One or two. That's it. Okay. Fine. That's fine. Just I want to go further. Just let me repeat the question. I'm repeating the question. Anyone who subscribed only for Angular? That's our question. Only Swapna answered, and remaining all are part of any kind of Ashok IT batch. Okay, right. So, what I discussed so far in yesterday classes, we discussed about course introduction, timings, duration, basic skill set, what is the purpose of why Ashok IT, and what we are aligning with the demo sessions. Just like we are aligning the demo sessions for why Angular, what is the purpose of Angular, when I have lot of frameworks in place, why we need to choose Angular, why we need to choose Angular when we have lot of frameworks are in place here, right? So that is the context over here. And yesterday what we discussed is at the last, okay, Angular is a framework that is mainly useful for developing a web application. Angular is the main framework that is mainly useful for developing a web application, right? What is the meaning of web application means? A web application which will be executed on the browser, that whatever the code written by the developer that is executed on the browser, that is called as a web application, right? So the first web application which is created by the Amazon, they are the booksellers at that time. They are the booksellers at that time. So they have a target of selling the books at high quantity. And the problem statement is they are the first people who enabled IT, who added IT as part of their business. They created a web application. It's a static web page where they used to collect the book details, and they are going to collaborate with USPS, and they used to deliver the books. But the problem statement is once the product is launched and it is accepted by a lot of people, then the problem came into picture. If X number of people are accessing the application at the same time, all X people are not getting the page here. All X people are not getting the page here. Okay, this is a problem statement, and I want to proceed further where I'm going to explain further here. Okay, so before I proceed further, as of now, any questions from anyone so far? Anything, anyone? Just I'll take 2-3 minutes and I'll back to my topic here. As of now, anyone, any questions so far, guys? Sir, my voice is clear, sir. Sachin. There is no problem
Sir,
with my...
I have a question. Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I have a question. Actually, AngularJS will be there in the market for the next 2 to 3 years more, or some other such kind of
Sir, I mean,
things will be
I
there.
am not the right person to comment on that. But as per my knowledge, Angular will be not AngularJS. Angular. You're talking about Angular, not AngularJS. AngularJS is outdated. It's completely out of market. Angular, it will be there next 10 years. That's what I feel. Okay. But I'm not responsible for that because I'm not a Google developer. I'm just like you.
No,
but
sir.
This is
You
my
do not have
perspective.
to give any justification, sir.
Just like I'm
I
telling.
just
No, that's fine. as per my knowledge, because of the framework is concerned, because of the robustness is concerned, because of the simplicity and lot of extra advantage, next 10 years, this will be there. Okay, right.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have some knowledge on React a little bit. And right now I'm learning Angular, so it will be the conflict of any means like that.
No issues. Both are two different. Nothing impact actually. Okay.
Mean the concepts are little bit same like components and related.
Sir, that is created by a different team. This is created by different team. Syntaxes and everything will be different, but concept is almost same. But syntaxes will be different. .NET, Java, both are there. Are they same? Can you .NET and Java both are same? Both are frameworks only. Both I can use.
Yeah.
.NET code is different. Java code is different. .NET is also object oriented. Java is also object oriented. .NET is also having web application framework. Java is also having web application framework. In .NET, ASPX files will be there. In Java, JSP files will be there. So both are different. In a similar way, Angular and React, completely different, but all are front-end concept will be same. Right. Any other question from anyone, guys?
Yeah, hi, sir. Dilip here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sir,
Actually, Angular J is outdated present market, but still React J is trending in the market. What is the difference between both?
Sir, first of all, lot of people are thinking that React is trending, React lot of openings than Angular. But I don't agree with that. Okay. I don't agree because Angular is a framework, React is a library. Okay. Whenever you want to develop a web application, compared to React, will go with Angular. That's the best option. But I don't want to contradict. I don't want to further. This is my perspective. And guys, questions means these are hypothetical questions where what could be happen, what is this? Okay. Questions should be relative to on technology that will be make sense. Okay. So why, I mean, I understand your points, but my intention is I'm giving an option for questions just to understand on the technology front. Okay. Fine, guys. I want to teach something. I'll stop the questions, guys. Please don't mind. I need to teach something.
Sir, I have a one quick question, sir. If you wish, you can answer. Otherwise, your choice, sir. When you are saying web application, it is not only related to web application, sir, because the backend can be anything. REST APIs, whatever I am exposing to the client, it can be a distributed application as well, right? The AngularJS is just for the UI development, right, sir?
Correct. Angular is purely UI development. Yes.
Right.
Sir,
Right. So
backend
when
can
it
be
comes
anything.
to
sir,
backend can be anything. So it's not just web application. It can be a distributed
Yes.
application wherein kind of business to business communication happens.
Yes.
Right, sir?
So guys, please
Sir.
don't mind, guys.
please
don't mind.
take this doubt at the last, sir. Actually, we are already running out of time. 20 minutes already passed, and we have only 40 minutes. Okay. And if you take the doubts
Yes, sir.
on the
Please
starting, it
take
will be,
lot.
I mean, yeah.
We are disturbed.
Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, by default, okay. This is a demo session. Minimum, I need to take some questions for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. And only, I just today, just said there is a conflict on the call. That's why 10 minutes delay. Okay. And going forward, it's not going to happen. Right.
Thank you,
Add
sir.
these demo classes. These are demo
Okay,
classes.
sir. Okay, sir. Start.
These are demo classes. Okay. And please, my humble request is, I know what to contain, where to stop, and how to stop. Okay. As these are demo sessions, just like I thought of taking some question answers. I expected that question answers related to what I teach, but somehow I stopped that, but we'll stop there now. So what is the problem statement is, if X number of people are accessing the application at the same time, all X number of people are getting the page. If 100 people are accessing the application at the same time, not 100 people are getting the page. Maybe 80 people are getting the page and remaining 20 people are not getting the page here. Okay. So this is a challenge is given to IT team. This is a challenge is given to IT team here. Okay. Now, then we need to observe here. What is the case here? What is the main purpose of here? What exactly is here? We need to observe the case over here. So the mainly architecture is, okay, we have typically Amazon data center. This is Amazon application or Amazon code or Amazon data center, whatever you can call, whatever the code we written, it is available over here, right? Now, all the things I'll write over here. Like, what are the things I'm going to write here? HTML pages, database, interaction code, little bit of or JavaScript code, and DAO, controller, and services. Some kind of code where we are going to add this. This is the code where we are going to write that. This is a code where we are going to write in Amazon application as a static application. Correct, right? Now, when 100 people are accessing this application at the same time, okay, by default, whenever we type, okay, www.amazon.com / order book, or else www.amazon.com confirm order, www.amazon.com track order, something like that. These are the URLs, guys. Something like these are the URLs. Whenever you want to order a book, book order page will be displayed. Whenever you want to confirm the order, confirmation page will be displayed. Whenever you want to track the order, tracking details will be displayed here. Something like that, some links and some code. So by default, whenever we are requesting some information on the browser, the request will be processed by in between our code and browser, where we have application server or web server. We have two concepts over here, guys, which is having application server by web server, whatever it may be. We call that as a app server or web server. We'll discuss further what is app server, what is web server, what is the purpose here. We'll discuss afterwards, not now. Okay. Where if it is a Java related application, I have a Tomcat, JBoss, WebLogic. If it is a .NET, IAS. If it is a PHP, Apache. If it is a Node.js, Express.js, Node.js. So different technologies, different frameworks are available. Application server here. So whenever we order a book, whenever we want to confirm an order, whenever we want to track an order, the request will be submitted to app server. App server is going to track it is going to interact with Amazon data center, the code. For example, order book. Now, order book JSP will be displayed or HTML will be displayed. Or confirm order JSP or HTML will be displayed here. Track order, that is, it is going to display that HTML page over here, right? So whenever we are requesting the things here, by default, the entire page will be displayed and it is going to track the things till the database level. Till the database level, entire request will be tracked over here. Okay. So by default, every request is going to take how much time? Whenever I say order book, how much time it may take? Whenever I say confirm order, how much time it may take? whenever I say track order, how much time it is going to take? Why that is important for me? What is the importance for me, guys? Because if the request and response duration is very less, I mean, as long as I am asking something, immediately I am getting answer, then there is a chance of a good network bandwidth and where we can take more and more requests. For example, I am making a request. It is taking 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. Then less people or less number of requests only will be processed and remaining requests will not be processed here. Okay. So the initial world of web application is every request. Okay. Every request need to reach app server or web server. Every request, and which will process, which is going to process our request by data center, and which is going to process the data center, and finally which object it should return. Amazon data center, which object it should return, guys? DOM object it should return, right? Browser only understand the DOM. What is DOM, guys? And converting programming language object into DOM. Okay. So every request need to reach web server or app server, which is going to process our entire data by the data center and converting the programming language object. For example, order book, where order page will be displayed, right? Confirm order, confirm page will be displayed. Track order, track. Okay. So it should be rendering the DOM, right? A DOM tree will be rendered, right? Who will give the DOM tree? I'm not writing the code for DOM tree, right? Our web server or app server convert the programming language into DOM tree, and the DOM tree will be rendered to the browser. So the pain point is every request need to be submitted, and server used to process the request, and the server response will be converted into DOM tree. So these are the challenging tasks at app server or a web server, which is consuming more time. That's why, based on my hardware capacity, if I am having at that time, right? Do you have 10 GB RAM, 20 GB RAM at that time, guys? Do you aware, right? At that time, what is our hard disk and what is our RAM? Very, 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 very less memory. 256 MB RAM, 512 MB RAM. At that time, guys, they are high processing system at that time. Nowadays, a mobile is having 10 GB RAM. Forget about the server, right? So, I mean, things are changing. At that time, because of the hardware restrictions and the application processing logic, by default, every request is going to take time here. By default, every request is going to take time here, and which is going to process our entire data by data center and converting the programming language object into DOM here. So that is going to take a more time here. Now, solution is, what is the solution? Sir, everyone is clear on the problem? Solution is, we need to increase the hardware, or we need to add new hardware. We need to increase the RAM. We need to increase some processing speed, CPU, motherboard, processor, all those things we need to increase here. Okay, all those things we need to increase over here. But, for example, sir, 100 people are there. Now I increase hardware to 256 MB RAM to 512 MB RAM. Again, if 200 people are coming, I cannot increase based on the load, right? I cannot spend my money based on the load, right? Yes or no? So hardware, leveraging the hardware is not a right solution. Leveraging the hardware is not a right solution for that. Okay. Then there is a concept came into the picture. Technology change. Technology change of what exactly we want here? Introducing client-side framework. Introducing client-side framework where not all requests cannot reach server. Some requests can be handled at a browser or a client level. This is the design change here. First web application, every request will go to server itself. And server is going to process our entire data and converting the programming language object into DOM tree. That entire process is going to take heavy time here. But the change in the design is where we are introducing a client-side framework. What is a client-side framework means? What is a client-side framework means? Whatever the code you write, that will be executed on the client browser. That will be executed on the client browser. That request will not reach to server. That will be executed on the client browser. And so that all requests, because everything I cannot execute at browser level, right? Some should go to server, right? Some should handle it client side, right? So some of the requests I should handle it client side. Only some requests only should go to server. I want to reduce the burden on the server. We want to reduce the burden on the server. Okay. So that is the design assumption. Okay. We need to reduce the burden on the server. For example, in our real-time development environment, a critical developer is there. In my company or in our team, very critical developer is there. If he is overloaded, what manager is going to do that? Some of the tasks he will shift to some other people, right? You take care of this, you take care of this. I'll make sure that let me hand over some work to others so that the critical resources will be free here. In the similar way, by default, in the similar way, okay, where server will be typically busy over there. Server will be typically busy here. Some of the responsibility should be shifted to client side. Some of the responsibility should be shifted to client side so that server resources will be utilized properly. Server resources will be utilized properly. So that is a design change of Amazon web application for that particular problem statement. Okay. What is client-side framework, guys? Any idea what is the client-side framework? Which is introduction to JavaScript. Initially, the application is developed on HTML static pages, but slowly JavaScript came into picture here. Slowly, what happens here? JavaScript came into picture, and slowly programming languages also came into picture here. Then the traditional application architecture, is going to change from now after this problem is introduced. Okay. Now, let me tell you guys what sort of functionalities I can handle it client side. What sort of functionalities I can handle it client side? Client side responsibilities. Okay. Construction of HTML page. Can I construct a HTML page from JavaScript? Yes, I can do that. validating HTML page. For example, I'm entering email. I'm entering product price. I'm entering phone number. Whether a customer is entering right data or not, right email, right product price, right phone number, whether the customer is entering the right data or not, that should not go to server. JavaScript engine can take care. These validations can take care. At client side, is that valid email or not? At client side, is the product price is correctly handled or not? At client side, is the phone number is correct or not? That is a client side validation. Next one is submitting, converting the JavaScript or converting the front end object into JSON or XML or programming language object. JSP, if it is a Java, means a Java object. .NET means C# object, something like that. Okay, that is also can be done at a client side. Rendering the data. Rendering the data to HTML. Rendering server response. To HTML. Rendering the server response to HTML. So some of these activities, guys, not entire activities, some of these activities can be shifted to client side. Constructing of HTML page, not complete HTML page, some kind of HTML page, validating the page, and converting the front-end object into JSON or XML or a programming language object, rendering the server response to HTML. All these are the activities we should shift to client side. We should shift to client side. That means what I need to write here, developer need to write this part of code into JavaScript and remaining portion into programming language, so that previously these tasks will be done by the server side. Now these tasks are shifted to client side. Now server should be little bit idle, or server burden will be reduced so that it can take additional load. It can process immediately. It can take more requests. So that is the technical architecture change here. Okay, let me repeat, guys. Let me repeat what I just now mentioned here. Okay, at a high level, I'm going to repeat here. By default, every request need to reach server, and server used to spend lot of time in constructing HTML page, server should be there. In validating the HTML page, server should be there. In converting the front-end object, server should be there. In rendering the response, server should be there. All the tasks taken care by the Amazon server, and it is going to take a lot of time, and it is not going to process every request here. So that's the problem here. Then we are introducing a client-side framework, guys, where all requests cannot reach to server. Some requests can be handled at a browser level or a client level, so that these are the responsibilities are shifted to client side. Slowly after HTML, JavaScript engine. Slowly after HTML, JavaScript engine came into picture, and it's solving the purpose of our initial problem of Amazon here. Then what exactly is going to happen here? It is typically happening. A Angular architecture is changed here, guys. Angular architecture is changed here. By default, the complete architecture is going to change. This is this. Okay. Everyone is able to see my screen, right, guys? When the problem is only X number of people able to access the page, but not everyone, this is due to application server is not able to respond quickly. Client side framework came into picture, where what is that actually? The architecture of web application is, this is the web application architecture, guys. Okay. So whenever we browse www.amazon.com or amazon.com/payment, amazon.com/products, amazon.com/something, right? So DOM object will be given by Amazon server. Okay. But what is the architecture is, whatever the responsibilities I mentioned, right? All those things I need to write in JavaScript, guys. Some of these responsibilities I need to write in JavaScript. Okay. Whenever we ask this page, the JavaScript file will be downloaded to browser. It will be downloaded to browser, guys. And browser will execute the JavaScript file. And it will perform the things here. So what's the architecture here? So if it is a web server means Tomcat, WebLogic, WebSphere, Apache, JBoss or Wildfly. And front end layer JSP or ASPX, C# or PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript or TypeScript. In a business logic layer, controller, service, data access layer or external communications and database like this. So this is the core layer which is interacting with web server, and finally DOM object will be given here. Okay. So the complete architecture is changed here. What is that we need to write here? Especially these client side responsibilities, we should write in JavaScript side. And the JavaScript file will be downloaded to browser. Whenever we ask www.amazon.com/products or www.amazon.com/book order, right? Whatever the JavaScript code we write, that file will be downloaded to browser. And browser will execute the JavaScript file and it will execute the page. So that server burden will be reduced here. Okay. Lot of people will confuse. Sir, what is this, sir? Server is going to give me JavaScript file. Now I'll show you guys. I'll show you practically, guys. Okay. For example, I'm typing ndtv.com. www.ndtv.com. Right? In the network tab, you see a script file. Do you see the script file, guys? This is a JavaScript code, guys. This code came from where? You're able to see the code? This is a response, JSON response. You see here? JS file. You're able to see this, guys? JS file. Which is executed by the browser over here. Sir, how this JavaScript file came? NDTV pushed the JavaScript file to the browser. And browser will execute the JavaScript file. You saw here? Lot of files. Script.js, local store.js. You saw here local store.js. So you saw that, right, guys? I shown you, right, clearly. NDTV, whatever the NDTV developers write the code of JavaScript, that code will be pushed to browser, and browser will execute the code and it will process the request. Server will not come into the picture. So this is the client side architecture. What this architecture is called as what? Client side architecture. What do you mean by client side architecture? I'm not taking 100% to client side. 10% or 20%, not 100% I'll take on client side. What is the 10% or 20%, guys? Constructing a small HTML page, validating the HTML page, converting the front end objects, rendering some server response, some of these things, animations, graph, lot of things are there, but these are the few things here. Where front end will take care. That is, JavaScript file will be pushed to browser. Browser will execute the JavaScript file and which is going to process the request here. So that's how first time after HTML is only HTML is not sufficient. We need a client-side scripting engine which will reduce the burden on the server. That's how the first JavaScript engine is getting created. Okay. Now the architecture is changed like this here. Whenever you need anything here, by default, the entire response will be coming from core layer. Core layer is going to convert into DOM tree and web application is going to, okay. For example, I'm taking this, guys, www.amazon.com/books. It should give list of books, right, guys? That's a request to browser. Whenever I'm asking payment page, books page, review page, shipment page. Vijay is asking book pay, payment page. Deepak is asking review page. Sai is asking shipment page. So respect to JavaScript file, if it is loaded, that engine will download it to browser. That web server will be take care of the request and it will process data client side. With this, whatever the problem mentioned by Amazon, introducing client side engine is solving the problem. Okay. So at least at that time, at that time, very few people will be accessing, and whatever the hardware we have and whatever the number of people accessing the application we have. So that's how where we are going to manage the things here. So after HTML, slowly JavaScript came into the picture, right? After that, okay, guys, after JavaScript came into picture, which one came, guys? After that, any idea, anyone? Which is jQuery came into picture. After that, what it came into picture, guys? jQuery came into the picture here. So this is how the DOM response and application programming language object, guys. I told, right, programming language object, right, guys? For example, when I type www.amazon.com products, which will download product.jsp, product.aspx, product.php, which will talk to product controller, which will talk to product service, which will talk to product DAO, which will talk to product table. Assuming that 10,000 products are there in that table. What piece of code I will write, sir? For I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to product size, I plus plus, I will add how many products are there, that many TR. Dynamically, this table tag should be generated. This is the code I will write. Sir, this is the code I will write, guys. And finally, this DOM tree should be generated. This is my programming language object is converting into DOM tree. Understand, right, guys? So far clear, guys? This is the sort of code I will write on JavaScript side. And ultimately, it is giving this result. And that result will be added to the DOM. And DOM is going to take care of this. Okay? Now, solution to the above problem is added by introducing a client-side framework so that some of the responsible like page creation, validating the page, submitting the page, rendering the page, shifted to client-side, and JavaScript as introduced. Okay? Next. Why jQuery came into picture? Any idea, guys, so far? Any, as per your knowledge? When JavaScript is powerful, why jQuery came? Any,
Thank you.
yeah. Go ahead,
Sir, we know.
please.
The framework.
Correct, but what is the purpose here? Right. I'll explain that. No issues at all. I'm going to explain this. Okay. Sir, for example, sir, my web page, I'm having a web page which is having full of animations. Possible, right? Full of animations, full of graphs. A stock market is there, right? Which is full of graphs, full of animations, red color, green color, blue color, right? Or else my web page is having, I need to bind 1,000 records to a data grid. To a data grid, I need to bind 1,000 records to a data grid. JavaScript is huge data is there. For a small data, JavaScript works fine. But when huge data is there, JavaScript is literally taking the delay. There is a delay in the JavaScript response. There is a delay in the JavaScript response, guys, here. Okay. So by default, what I'm trying to say typically is Angular before that, JavaScript, right? In JavaScript is, especially there are two problems with the JavaScript. When huge data is there, when huge animations are there, heavy data is there, JavaScript is little bit delaying here. It will take some time. That's the first problem. Not all browsers will support JavaScript at that time. Some browsers I can stop client-side scripting. Browser level I can stop, guys. Correct, right? Executing the JavaScript file at browser side, I can stop that. And not all browsers will support JavaScript. Browser compatibility issues with JavaScript. Do you saw that, guys? Browser compatibility issues with JavaScript. Do you saw that? So these are the two problems which they have, which we need to see that actually, right? So by default, what is the first problem is jQuery is introduced, which is a parent of JavaScript only, guys. jQuery is a library that is written on top of JavaScript only, but that is removing the browser compatibility issues, as well as that is improving the performance of the JavaScript. That is how jQuery is getting introduced here. That is advanced JavaScript. That is typically a jQuery is getting introduced here. So till 1990s, jQuery is the hero. One jQuery is there, JavaScript is there, HTML is there, or programming language is there, our front end is performing very, very, very good. There is no issues with the web application. So till 1990 time frame, the best application architecture is front end JavaScript side or JSPs or whatever it may be, and which is loading with jQuery based on the application time, which is talking to controller service, and that is how which is designed as part of this application architecture is concerned, right? Any questions so far, guys? As of now, I explained three things here: HTML, JavaScript, and jQuery. These are the theoretical approaches, guys. Theoretically, I explained here. Now, after jQuery, AngularJS came, guys, not Angular. After jQuery, AngularJS came into picture here. This I will explain through some sample program, guys. Now you keep on hearing me theory yesterday and today, right? If I write some code, some interest will be there, right? What I am going to do is, what are the drawbacks of jQuery and why AngularJS is getting introduced? What is the drawback of jQuery and why AngularJS is introduced? That is what I'm going to write some code tomorrow, and I'll explain the differences of jQuery versus AngularJS. Then slowly I'll move towards to Ajax. Then slowly I'll move to drawbacks of AngularJS. Then slowly I'll move to Ajax. Then after Ajax is over, then single page applications, that is GWT, Marinate, Backbone, and Angular, so that you will have a complete end-to-end picture on a web application architecture side here. Complete end-to-end application picture on end-to-end side here. So what I so far discussed is, I discussed only the limitations of first application after slowly introducing client-side framework. After introducing client-side framework, then the problems are resolved. Then jQuery is also introduced on top of JavaScript. For more data is there performance side, and browser compatibilities are resolved with respect to jQuery. Okay, till 1990 time frame, this is a powerful frameworks: JavaScript, jQuery, and JSP and Java or .NET. This is a popular frameworks here. Now, slowly, what are the drawbacks of jQuery? Why AngularJS came into picture? What are the drawbacks of AngularJS? Why Ajax came into picture? What are the drawbacks of Ajax? Why Marinate, GWT, Backbone came, and why Angular and React? So that you will have an end-to-end picture on a front-end perspective. You are going to get it. Okay. So this is what aligned for today, guys. Okay. Yeah. As of now, yeah. Any questions?
Yes, one question, please.
Please.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Can you please open the architecture which you teach us on earlier, the JavaScript?
Guys, please, everyone go on mute, guys. Everyone is matured, guys. Santosh.
Yes.
Sorry. Naga Dorababu Mobi Devi. Can you go on mute? Thank you. Yes.
Actually, my question was it here, like one is I can see FE layer and one is web app server. So what will be which things will we save on a client side, web app server or FE layer? Which one?
Sir, by default, sir, core layer is the code whatever I write. You saw core layer, right? This is a core layer. Core layer means whatever the code I write, that is a core layer. Whatever server will take care, this is web server. Okay. This entire code I will write. Now.
Okay. This entire code will save on client side.
No, not entire code will save on client side. Everything will be saved on server side only. For example, when I'm asking payments page, right? Our app server downloads payment.js file to the browser, and browser will execute the payment.js file. That will be handled by the app server. When I'm asking for review page, review.js, because I'll write a code in the review JSP, right? I will import the review.js file, right? The JS file will be downloaded to the browser. That will be done by the web server or app server. That will be taken care of here. Okay. It's a very good question. I'm really happy. Good question. Yeah.
Is only converting that programming language object into DOM.
That is taken care by web server or app server.
Sir, what is DOM? Programming language, and we don't know.
DOM means document object model, which is a HTML tree. Okay. DOM means what? HTML tree. For example, you see here, right? This is a DOM. Document HTML, head tag, title tag, body tag, H1 tag, all this entire tree is a DOM tree. We will write the code of programming language and that entire data will be converted into DOM tree by the app server. That's what I wrote a code here, right? I will write this particular code for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to this. And finally, this tree will be converted by the server so that browser will take care of this tree and it will download. Got it?
That
Sir,
refers
sir,
to
what is difference between framework and library, sir?
Framework is all the options are available. If I want to construct a web application, whatever the programming I need, everything is provided by the framework. Whatever I need, all the things will be provided by the framework. Library means I need to use third-party things. It's not provided by that. So I need to use a lot of third-party things. Then only I can write a code here. That is a library. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Maybe I'll take tomorrow. Tomorrow is the code perspective, guys. Tomorrow we'll see the code between jQuery and AngularJS. And you'll see the clear picture. After that, we'll see Ajax versus single page application. That is what our upcoming classes. Okay. Thanks everyone, guys. We'll have a great day. Sir, IDE, we are going to use Visual Studio IDEs. And we don't really need, whether you can type in the notepad also, sir. IDE is not a big thing here. Okay, but I am going to use Visual Studio IDE. Okay. Right. Thanks everyone. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.